So in today's video, we'll be looking at this game that I called Console Craft. And Console Craft is a C++ remake of the game Minecraft. And if you don't know what Minecraft is, Minecraft was a game by the original person who made Minecraft for a Let 'em Dare 47 back in 2011, which is, if you don't know what Let 'em Dare is, it's a speed game making competition. He made that game in Java, and today I'll be making the C++. Also, another key difference is that this game will run in the terminal, as his Minecraft was a 2D remake, basically, of Minecraft. So when I got this idea for making the game, just to let you know, this wasn't an original idea. It was originally remade by this guy named JDH, and he improved that game. So I recommend, of Java, all the things that he improved that game. So I recommend you go watch that video. The link's in the description down below. Also, there was going to be a few key differences, mainly basically the map and how it outputs, because in this game I wanted to make a console. The reason for that is I wanted to make it dungeon-like. Also, I don't really know how to do graphics programming yet in C++, so next video I'll probably try to do that. But in this video, all I wanted to do was, make a 15 by 15 array of the strings, and when you run into that string, and pull an event to basically have you playing Minecraft, right? And in a couple key features that Minecraft and Microcraft have. Microcraft is the game by JDH. Is basically you have the mines, and the main objective is to beat this boss called the Air Wizard. Once you beat the Air Wizard, you win the game. There's a couple things. If you die, you get a score. So that's one thing. The enemies, I believe there's slime, there's zombies. I don't know if there's creepers, but I decided to add creepers. And then there's obviously the Air Wizard. So there's 4 mobs that I have in my game. And as of right now, I don't have any animals. So also another thing is you can replenish your health by eating. And the only food source that I have in this game is apples. Whereas in the other ones, I believe you could farm, and apples were also in that version. But I do plan to add other mobs such as cows and stuff, so you can get A, leather armor, and B, food, right? And speaking of armor, what I wanted to do for armor was, is in the original game, like Minecraft and Microcraft, and also in Minecraft, you would basically, make a set of armor, the 4 pieces, the helmet, the chest plate, the leggings, and the boots. And what I was going to do was basically, it takes 24 pieces of iron or whatever material you're making with to make a full set, and that's what I was going to do. You can craft iron armor for 24 pieces, and you can craft the entire set, and you gain armor points, which is basically just an extra health. And the only armor that I have at the time for this recording is iron armor. And the tools are wood, stone, or rock, and then iron. In future videos, about this game, if I do updates, I want to add gold and diamond. So yeah. And also, just another thing I wanted to get is basically kind of like a main loop. So you can play the game. If you die, you can return to the main menu, because I wanted to release this game on Patreon. And the game is on Patreon down below. Click the link and play it for yourself. There's 2 versions. You can get the code or the game. Yeah. And if you're getting the code, then it's only running on Windows, because it's a Windows solution. It's not built with CMake or Premake or anything like that, so it's only Windows. But if you play the game, it's an exe file, so you just run the exe file, and so that's it. You play it. So back to the actual code reviewing itself, basically. As you can see right here, as this clip, I am basically stealing some of the stuff that I had from Quest, right, which is the map implementation, and then also making that loop, basically. And after I got that squared away, I was just adding more mobs and stuff. And basically how the mobs and stuff are triggered, basically once you run into something, it creates that object. So not all the objects are created basically predefined before you load the game. So once you run the game, it's not like all loaded right then and there. It's when you run into something, it basically will create that object. So if you run into a tree, it'll make a tree on command when you run into that tree, or when you run into that. So basically it's stored as a character or a string, and when you run into that, it'll basically pull an event to create that object, right? So that's how the event system works. after about 5 hours of work, we get our first output, right? And in this first output, basically, we can interact with all these things. We can interact with the trees, the rocks, the mobs and stuff. And as you can see, it is very slow and jittery. But I also want to point out this one thing to you. When you go into the inventory, right, it's basically a split screen, so you can still see your map in the inventory. Later on in that code, as I write it, basically the map disappears, right? So when you access the crafting menu, the equipping menu, the anvil, the furnace, so you can smelt stuff, the anvil, so you can, make your stuff. Like the iron that I'm looking up here to see how much iron is in an actual set. Basically, it stops printing out the map, so you can only focus on what you're crafting. That basically gives the game state a pause.